Hello Martial Arts family, John Orndorff here from North American Martial Arts Institute. And we are going to rock it with a Tae Kwon Do class today. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our warm-up. Just put our hands on our hips and get a neck roll going from side to side. Now head up and down. And turning side to side. We're going to do some straight punches, straight out, chin level. You don't have to go crazy fast, all right? Like I said, we are warming up. So we don't want to go too fast, don't want to pull muscles. Let's throw those punches out about chin level. Now what we're going to start doing is we're going to start punching across, okay? And as we go, we're going to start punching even more across. We're going to start engaging the lower body with our warm-up. So now the punches might not be as fast, but I got my whole body moving here. Now I'm going to uppercuts out in front. Remember, the uppercuts don't go any higher than your eyes, okay? I want to drive through that target, which is our chin, but we don't want to pump them way up high, okay? So they stop at the eyes. Now we're going to start punching across with these and turning more. Punches are going to slow down. Again, so we're letting our whole body get involved with this warm-up. Awesome. Okay, jog in place. Now I want you to keep jogging in place while I do something here. So keep your body moving like this, all right? What we're going to do is we're going to do some step kicks, all right? Keep jogging. Keep that jog going. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to step out, front kick. Step out, side kick. Then I step out with the other leg. Step out, front kick. Step out, side kick. Okay, so we're going to try it again. Step out, front kick. Step out, side kick. Feet come in. Step forward, other leg this time. And again. Now, you notice we're stepping out, then we're stepping out to the side. So I step forward, step out to the side. So I step forward with one, and I kick forward. And then I step out, and I kick to the inside. Now I'm going to step with the other leg. Step forward, kick, step out, kick. Let's keep working this. Step forward, kick, step out, side kick. Step forward, front kick, step out, and side. Remember, we're switching legs on the step each time. And don't get stressed. Keep going. Don't get stressed if you get confused, because I do too, okay? But you want to work the height as you go, but you don't have to kick high now, all right? We're still warming up, so we got to stretch before we kick high. Okay, and time. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little stretching. We're going to start with that standing hamstring stretch, which is one of my favorites, because it's a great stretch to begin with because you're standing up. You're already in that position where you can just lean into a good hamstring stretch. Remember, the toes are up off the floor. You can take that foot up and down to get more of a calf stretch going. Let's go to the other side. If you want to drop your weight into it, remember the back leg is bent, but the lead leg that you're stretching is straight. Remember, you can take that foot up and down to stretch out the calf even more. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go into a seated center stretch. So we're going to sit all the way down, legs out wide, and reaching forward. Deep breath in, exhale, and reach. We're going to hold that position, keep the breathing going. Deep breath in, exhale, we're going to go to one side. Deep breath in again, exhale, now we go to the other side. Deep breath in again, push the legs out a little bit more. Exhale, and center stretch again. I'm going to hold this one for a little bit longer, and then we're going to go into the lying back stretch, okay? Now I did this one the other day. And this one, all you do is you lay on your back, grab on the inside of your knees or calves, either one, and you're just going to put with your legs straight, try to touch your feet to the floor. If you can do that, you get A+. Fantastic. All right, knees in, stand all the way up. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to ask you to practice a requirement. This time, today, it's your choice, the requirement you practice. But these are your choices, okay? If you have a partner, you can practice one-steps. That's a great thing to practice with a partner. Or you can practice escapes, one of those two. And that's if you have a partner. So if you got mom or dad or brother or sister that can work with you, that's great, okay? If you got your spouse, that's wonderful, okay? But I would suggest you work a two-partner drill, be it either escapes, which is when somebody gets a hold of you, how to escape it and to create safe distance, and then also one-steps, which are when somebody throws a punch, you work on your block and counter strikes, okay? So I'm going to ask you to take 5 minutes and practice those. So hit the pause, 5-minute break. For me, not for you, it's work time for you. Let's work on those one-steps or escapes. And I'm sorry, if you don't have a partner, I'm going to ask you to work on forms or combinations, okay? Which would be your testing form or previous forms as well, but make sure you hit your testing form. If you are not on forms yet, if you're not quite that advanced yet, work your self-defense combinations, okay? So 5 minutes of practice on those. Hit the pause. I'll be standing right here waiting. Okay, I'm assuming that everything went well with your one-steps, your forms, your self-defense combinations, or your self-defense combinations, forms, what did I forget? One of those. Anyway, I hope all that went well. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go into some drills, a little bit of a different drill that I like. It's just great for developing hand-eye coordination and knowing what you're going to do when a strike comes in. We're going to kind of focus on hand strikes coming in, and we're going to work hand counters with blocks and strikes, okay? So I'm going to start with my hands up in a sparring stance, and I'm giving you a couple of examples, and then I'm going to ask you to build on this. Now, I think it would be great if you did these with me, so let's do that now. But also, I'm going to have you pause here in a little while and practice these along with your hand drills that you create, but I'm going to ask that you practice these first. Number one, because I know they're solid and they work, okay? And also, they're just a good framework to kind of study and to get an idea of, physically do, and get an idea of what's going to work for you, okay? So we start from our sparring stance. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start with a low block. I'm going to work a low block or down block from the lead side. Now, when we do this in a traditional fashion, you guys would block, boom, and we take that hand just outside the lead leg. I'm going to ask that you don't take it that far. When I do this block, it should be a short block. Okay, I don't want to throw it way out here. Because now, I've got one arm that's out here doing nothing other than the block it just did. I have nothing to protect me on this side, other than my chin and my shoulder. So, I want to make sure that I keep the block short. So down block, and that's with the lead. Now reverse punch to the body. Now I'm going to do an outside in block, like I'm blocking a strike coming into the head. And again, not all the way out here. It stops here because it's a deflective type of block. And then I'm going to fire straight punch to the chin. Okay? So I'll do that again. Down block, punch to the body. Outside in block at chin level, straight punch at chin level. Let's do it together. Down block, body punch. Outside in block, chin punch. Now, take note. I do this block. I want to keep this hand up by my head. Okay? I fire my counter strike, which is to the body. This hand needs to be by my head. Makes the outside in block really nice because my hand's already there. All I got to do is turn the hips a little bit and use my shoulder to get that block in place. And then that hand comes back when I fire the straight punch to the chin. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I'm going to ask you to try it that fast, but I'm talking while I'm doing it, so it makes it a little trickier. You should really be breathing. So, I'm going to ask you to practice that. Now, before we hit the pause button, one more thing. I only worked one side. I need to work both sides so I can be balanced. Remember we talked about our weak side, whenever we have a weak side versus a strong side, that weak side we need to work twice as hard, or at least 50% more, minimum, okay? So a lot of times I'll tell people we do 10 reps on our strong side, let's do 15 on our weak side. You can do that, 50% more. I like to double it sometimes, okay? And remember, when we're working the weak side, you don't work as fast, you don't work at the same pace all the time. You work at that pace once you get good at it. But when you're just starting out, practicing something on your not so good side, then you need to do it slower than you would on your strong side. Okay? So here, 1, down block, body punch, outside in block, chin punch. And I'm working that off another lead, okay? Now I have my right leg forward. So down, punch, outside in, punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So I'm going to ask you to practice that combination. All right, so hit the pause, practice that guy, and I'll be waiting for you. Okay, so I assume that went well. I'm going to ask you to start to add your own combo in now, but I do want to cover another one, okay? So this one, the last one we started with middle strikes and high strikes. Now I'm going to go high to middle, okay? So from here, maybe I do an outside in block and a palm heel strike. All right? Then I can do a cross the body block here and reverse punch to the body. So 1, 2, or 2, 3, 4. So now we're dealing with a strike that's high to the chin or face maybe. 1, 2, or 2, either one. Okay, and then another direct strike comes in, 3. Same block, I'm just bringing it down a little bit. And 4, okay? So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're reversing that combination as far as how we're blocking, because the strikes that are coming towards us are not starting at the same level. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to practice that, but right now I'm also going to ask you to make up your own combination along with that. So let's practice that one, but I'm going to ask you to build. Now, when I say build, you don't have to do the same techniques I did. There's all kinds of blocks. You can do an inside-out block. I actually wanted to do an inside-out block with that one. But there's an inside-out block. You got two-fist block. When you do a two-fist block, two-fist blocks are okay, but one of the great things about a two-fist block is now I can grab onto whatever I'm blocking. So if there's a front kick coming in and I do a two-fist block, I can grab onto that. Now, if I were to do a two-fist block in one of these, I would probably go into a kicking strike next. So two-fist block here, I grab that leg up, and maybe I do a front kick to the solar plexus, or a rising kick to the groin, okay? Those are options, and I'm not going to hold on to that the whole time. I do that, I pull it up, and kick and let go. Because I don't want to hold on to that thing, okay? But you can get really creative. I'm going to ask you to do 4 things, 2 blocks and 2 strikes, okay? And with that, you should make it block, strike, block, strike. That should be the format that you go by today. So I'm going to ask you to take some time. Now, this is going to take a little longer. You're going to need to take at least 10 minutes to work on this, okay? If you have a partner, it's even better. If you have somebody who can just stand in front of you and be a target, it's even better, okay? So now it's time to build on those hand drill type combinations. So hit the pause button. This is 10-minute practice here. Let's go ahead and make it happen. Excuse me, I hope the hand drills and combos went well. I'm going to ask you, if you got one that you really like, send it to me so I can check it out and I can give you some feedback on it. I know, and they're fun to practice, and you can do so many things with those types of combinations. And the nice thing is with four moves, it's pretty simple. All right, next what we're going to go to is we're going to go to some kicking stuff. So I'm going to start from what we call a side stance. So in the side stance, if my opponent is here, I'm going to be sideways, okay? And with this side stance, I can do a lot with my front leg, but I can also do a lot with my back leg. The nice thing about the front leg is it can be quick, okay? I can move also with this. I can move forward and backward. And some of that we're going to talk about here at another time. But with this, we're going to talk about lead leg kicks. So our first lead leg kick is the most basic one, okay? So from our side stance, and our knees are bent, our hands are up, and our opponent is here towards our side, okay? And we put this foot out in front in purpose because maybe this is our strong side, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide up, I'm going to throw a side kick. So I slide my back leg up so my back heel points towards my target. I'm going to chamber up, fire my side kick, and then come back, okay? So from here, slide up, side, and back. That's the slide and side kick, okay, from a side stance. So that's a fun kick, and I'm going to ask you to go ahead and practice that a couple of times or a few times. I'm going to talk. Make sure you do your weak side as well, okay? So both sides, and work that weak side twice as much. At least add 50% minute, okay? So work that slide side, and I'm going to talk about what's next. Now we've done round kicks and hook kicks from this position too. We did it a few weeks ago. And we're going back to that again because number one, it works, especially in a sparring type scenario. It's a great position to be in, that side stance, and you can be quick, okay? There's also a lot of cool counters that you can do from that position as well. But with that side kick, that's a good, strong, direct strike. Next is a round kick. Now I'm not as big a fan of the round kick as I am the side kick because that side kick is direct and is powerful. Okay, it's like you're driving straight into something. But the round kick is trickier, okay, because you have to chamber and that kick has to come in from the side. So from here, I'm going to slide up, I'm going to bring my knee up, and I'm going to fire that round kick in so that it strikes the side of the person, okay? Or so if they're here, side kick strikes here, let's say, and round kick strikes here. If they're in that side stance, side kick would strike here, round kick would strike here or here, okay? So that round kick, again, it's a great kick, but it doesn't have the power from this position that the side kick does. But we're going to step up, slide our base foot up. And with this foot, we're going to angle a little bit, but we don't want to angle too much. Okay? And then we're going to chamber and kick with that round kick, like we're striking not so much with the top of the foot, but the instep of the shin, which is right here. So slide up, kick. And that's the round kick. So go ahead and practice that one. Make sure you work both sides with that as well. Like I said, the nice thing is it's a quick kick, but it doesn't have the power that the side kick does, but it works well in combination with those other kicks. Because you might throw a slide up round kick, and then the side kick slides straight into your target, okay? So that's a good kick. Keep practicing. And while you're practicing that, I'm going to talk about the hook kick. But keep practicing, please. And make sure you work both strong side and weak side. With the hook kick, we're going to chamber on the opposite or in the opposite direction. So with the round kick, I come back here. With the hook kick, I'm going to chamber up here. Okay, almost like a side kick chamber, but I'm coming out a little bit more. Okay, side kick chamber from here, right here. Hook kick chamber, out or forward a little bit. Okay, so with the hook kick, what we're going to do is we're going to chamber out, kick this way, and pull it back. I tell people it's kind of like throwing a side kick out here and you missed your target. So you're trying to hit your target by drawing that foot back, okay, or drawing that leg back, okay? So with the hook kick, slide up, chamber out, we pull through, and reset. Again, slide up, chamber forward a little bit more than the side kick. You're going to pull through, and then come back. So it looks like this. That's the hook kick. So let's go ahead and practice that hook kick now. And while you're practicing that, I'm going to talk a little bit more. Remember, more reps on your weak side than your strong side. At least 50% more, doubling is even better. No rush on your weak side either. Take the time. Okay? Working on technique. So while you're doing that, what we're going to do is we're going to put these together. And with this is the tough part, okay? It really tests your balance. But we're going to try a side, hook, and round. And I know I did this a few weeks ago, but here's the deal. This is a great combination. And if you can start using this in your sparring, it's going to make you a much better sparrer, okay? You're going to be better in the ring because people aren't going to know what to expect. And I'll show you what I mean. So maybe I do my side kick, and then I rechamber, keeping the leg up, and I throw a hook. And then maybe from there I throw the round kick and reset. So side, hook, round. Side, hook, round. Okay? I'm not real stretched out yet, so I'm not looking the best, but you get the idea, right? So that's what I'm going to ask you to practice. And what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to practice it slow first. Side, and you can bring them lower and even set them down in between, okay? Hook, set it down, round, set it down. I'll do that again. Side, set it down, hook, set it down, round, set it down. And as you get to going with it, love that phrase, get to going. As you start to do that, you'll feel better about the balance and keeping it up in the air. So this will feel better, okay? Weak side, I'm going to warn you right now, weak side is going to be bad. Usually is for most of us. Don't get frustrated. Slow. And on your weak side, especially when you're trying to keep your balance, do everything low. Like, I would do it below the belt. So, like if you're just starting off your weak side, side, hook, round. Okay? It's teaching your muscles how to maintain the balance, and also just trying to coordinate doing those 3 kicks while your foot's up in the air. So take some time with that. I'm going to ask you to take 10 minutes on this and practice, practice, practice. All right? So hit the pause button, practice it slow. Remember, many more times on your weak side than your strong side. And weak side, drop it down into practice. All right? I'm going to be standing right here waiting for you. Hit the pause button and get busy. Okay, my friends, I hope that went well. You know, it's tough to keep that balance sometimes, but you got to work towards it. You really do. You got to work towards it. And grabbing onto things like using a chair and holding on to that to help you keep your balance can also be a big help in training your body how to work its balance when you're doing that. Okay. Anyway, that's just about the last thing I got. I got one more thing before we talk about Masters Club. And this is if you have a form. Okay? And you can consider this part of Masters Club as well. But here's the deal. Forms are great for learning hand-foot coordination. But I'll be the first one to tell you I love forms, but there are times they get kind of boring. So this is one way to mix it up. So let's say I'm doing basic form 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a kicking combo in that form somewhere. It works even better with the basic forms. But let's say I start from Chumbi and I begin basic form 1. So I turn and look, and I got to do, let's say, 3 moves. And I'll show you what I mean. I got to do 3 moves. So I do my turn low block, step forward punch. I look the other way, do my turn low block. Now I'm going to do 3 kicks. I'm going to do whatever 3 kicks I want to do. So maybe you do front, round, side. And then I step in, middle punch. Okay, now that's my first move. Second move is here. Third move is here. Now I'm going to do 3 kicks again. 1, 2, 3. All right, finally for Masters Club. We're going to talk about Korean and doing some Korean with the bow staff. I know we've done this before, but I think it's a great thing to do because it really makes you have to think while you've got the bow staff in your hand. And doing kicks in Korean, just starting off real basic, like op chagi, toyo chagi, pakise anro chico chagi, dui chagi, and then start throwing some techniques in between, okay? So maybe I'm here and I do op chagi, horizontal and downward type strike, toyo chagi, yup chagi, thrust, each side of the head strike, downward strike, toyo chagi, yup, op chagi, thrust to the side, downward strike. The whole idea is to keep your mind going even more while you're trying to remember that Korean and practice it and work the bow staff at the same time. So it's kind of a fun thing to do, and I know I like to play around with that, just kind of mix it up a little bit here and there to challenge myself both mentally and physically. So I'm going to ask you to do that, have some fun with it, spend a good 15 minutes on your Masters Club training, and we'll see you soon. Thank you for watching today. Cheerio! Kinye. Kamsahamnida.